Okay, so those of you who are new, very simple. One of the amazing thing around this stuff called the DXY, before the DXY actually have a kind of opposite movement against Bitcoin, cryptocurrency in general. So, but over time, Bitcoin tried to separate itself from the DSY movement, as it were. Because if you look at it now, DXY have been crashing. Some of you may ask, what is DXY? As the US dollar index. So the US dollar index, yeah, had been coming down. And of course, we talked about it. Many of us who have been following us last year, August to September, we talked about our returning back of DXY, which will I call it technical fundamental or technical sentiment in kind of correlation, what we do. Literally, this is how I trade my market most time. And of course, but I said the first thing we talk about in the global financial market is about investing before you talk about trading. So, and so DXY usually, when we have DXY crashing, it is expedient that we have the Bitcoin or crypto market pumping, but there was like separation over time within the last 2-3 years. The Bitcoin take another dimension, and Bitcoin overpump to a level we expected for more months to come, and it concludes such movement earlier than expected. All right, so now, generally speaking, so the DXY is used as a kind of indicator for both currency trade and the cryptocurrency. So it measures the strength of US dollar. For instance, when we look at US dollars, yeah, so you measure how strengthened. So US dollars literally was flat. Last week was not actually strengthening as such. Euro kept getting more strength, and of course, CHF getting more strength, as it were. So now looking at the market, we said, okay, that the market, the US dollar was crashing, and which make a lot of sense. The direct interpretation of it is that every pair against US dollar will be experiencing a massive pump. That's very, very simple arithmetic, which we have always explained. And that was what we did last year when the market was dumping or pumping, as it were. So we had an opposite movement. So that's exactly what happened on Euro USD. And good number of you have told us that the market was returning for Euro USD. And that's one of the lovely things. So my sentiment is very simple. Having been able to identify a clear direction of DXY on a higher time frame, then I know I can be. So if the DXY was actually dumping, just like what has been happening, then anything Euro USD, GBP USD are actually fired up for buying. And so we dilly die just like the way the DXY did previously. And then if you look at it, within 3 days, it was a massive move up and all of that. So that is to say we're returning back to where we dumped down from at the double top. And that same thing is applied to GBP USD, which sometimes could be a little bit faster and to complete its own journey. And so this is my sentiment most times. So when I'm doing my sentiment, I don't too much waste so much time struggling because I just know that, okay, this is what this guy want to play out. And of course, be that as it may, as long as Euro DXY continue to crash, then as you enjoy the ride up in Euro USD, GBP USD, and other correlated currency pairs. So what are we going to have this week, for instance? So we got to another support level for DXY. So which means maybe we're not going to have a kind of, so we got to give support for DXY. So if this market opened today And of course, we have DSY. It was returned down, maybe probably come down to this line, 103.318 region. Then we could have a very strong pullback, something like this. And that will warrant this guy to pull back before the continuation. But just settle to watch. We've said whatever thing you are doing, you want to pay attention to some of those indices in order to maximize it. Right. So the same thing applies to those of us who trade in gold. So I'm not taking everything tonight. So gold had been struggling within a range, which I marked all this while, and we couldn't have a very clear direction. However, in the long term, you see that it's still an uptrend. So lovely for me this week, the market open. If I can have you gold crash down first, that's going to make a lot of sense for me. Then before, pushing up. But net to get down to this point, and that would be a very nice one. So, but we remember as a gold, we're targeting $3,000 region, gold, $3,000 region for gold. So that means overall we're bullish on gold. And of course, I've said trading gold is a very, very, but it maintains a very fantastic psychological level. So going to break cryptocurrency very quickly. If you are following our update, you should have made a lot of money last week on crypto, especially on Bitcoin. In fact, just like was printing free money. But I told us about the range, right? The range and the channel Bitcoin was maintaining. And fantastically now, we are now at the bottom of the channel again. If you see my black line here and this one. So we've been having that. When we return back here, and of course, this is a failure, right? The first move we really enjoyed. That was fantastic. So this is the second move. The good side of it is that this first move, the second move will never go down to this point, but it was weakened. Even the first one was unable to return back to the channel, which we're targeting 96, 97,000. But remember, we kept talking about the region, zone by zone, where they will get to. And the same thing happened here. And we had this guy too. Never got up to the previous about 96 or $95,000 region. And we had it stop at 92,000, which was cool because we envisaged that. And this again too, Bitcoin. So the opening of the market today, we can have Bitcoin. If you can return back to 79,000, that's not going to be a bad deal, this region. 79,500, but nevertheless, irrespective of where it returns to, reaction to it will be making me to be looking for another buy at 80,000 to 81,000 region. And if you can hit down and take a correction, then we'll be looking for 80,000 for me to long, right, for Bitcoin. But the challenge is this time around, are we going to get to this previous point? I doubt. Probably we may just get to 87,000 and get resisted, just like we have this. So probably 87,000, 85 to 87,000 region. So I remember we say until we're able to break all this region, we go nowhere. And so if I were you this week, so looking at Bitcoin to retrace down properly and maybe targeting to find an entry for long on Bitcoin at 80,000, buying point 80,000, 81,000, 79, even 78,000. Remember the last time we got to 76,000. However, we're targeting 73,000. But we said we got this. This CME was mitigated a little, that closed. So, but it was not properly closed. So if this one was going to close it, fine, whichever direction this guy maintained. But I want to look at if a good bounce from that region, then we're looking for a long position for Bitcoin, and then targeting 85, 86, 87, 88,000. So that means we're actually getting, but over time, we could continue to maintain this sideways move for a very long time. Remember, we said we target that the top of the roof of Bitcoin cycle was supposed to be an average of the month of April to September this year. And so if that's the case, but for me, what we got from $90,000 and above was a bonus, which I did mention. Okay, so what are we looking for? We're waiting, targeting to find a long position. Another thing I would tell some of us is that we could target, but fear does not allow a lot of people to pull the trigger because it's like most people actually guesswork and never build the confidence of taking decision or action and then ready to see whatever come out of it as much. So virtually all the coins that pumped last week, remember, they all dump, right? So look at Evers. Evers was pumping at a point, and now Evers is crazily down. And I think Chainlink the same thing, right? So you should know whatever happened to Bitcoin. All the altcoins going to share a larger share there. Okay, HBAR was pumping last week massively. And there we go. So can look at HBAR again, probably returning back to maybe if we can have a bounce here, but not having a support here and break this, then HBAR could crash entirely to something surprising. That's the truth. All right. So, but Bitcoin should be your watch point 80, 81,000, 79,000, by chance to 78,000. So, but just know that the market could find a return because I saw a lot of liquidation at 85,000, 87,000 for Bitcoin. So that means for rally up, we could be finding another short for Bitcoin at those regions I did mention. So we have to be very careful with some coins we buy right now. Listen to a lot of people that this coin did all-time high at this point, you must do that. It's not a yardstick. It's not compulsory that a coin have done all-time high, it should return back to that all-time high. Don't get it twisted. It may not happen as people actually envisage it and all of that. And the question many want to ask that, which coin can I ask us to buy now? Quite unfortunate. I couldn't do any research for any coin we should buy. But I think let me now give another verse. Some of us who on the community, when we ask to you for buy some coin, you're afraid because of leverage. My counsel generally is that if you're a new person, maybe you start with the leverage of 2 or 3, but maximum of 5x. Yeah, maximum of 5x. So if I were you, if there's no meme coin to call, yeah, you want to target probably 80, 81,000, just this region to find a long position. So if I were you, I'll use 2x or 3x. And so a Bitcoin can return back. Let's look at it from here. So about 7%, 7 times 5, or 7.3, that's 21%. And that's going to make a lot of sense for you. Okay, so if it's 5%, so 5 by 3x, that's 15%. That's some money. And they're targeting the rejection at 85, 86, 87 to 88,000 and short again. And then you continue to take the money. And that's exactly what we've done. We talk about the dump, talk about the pump, talk about the dump again, talk about the pump, and we'll talk about the dump. Now we're talking about the pump again. And so you don't need to miss out of any of this. Okay? So please, ladies and gentlemen, quite a number of tokens. You can always find a discount because if you are patient, so quite a number of tokens will be deployed out and people will get engrossed because of the hype given to some of those coins. I can tell you categorically speaking that a lot of coins will die without returning back to the next cycle. Yeah, that's the truth. So many of them will be delisted. And so that's why you want to hang around tokens that you don't can sustain their momentum, as it were. Okay? So why Bitcoin? So Bitcoin will have finished dumping all this while, but so many fundamentals, the US, which other country to buy Bitcoin to launch to their reserve. And so all of those hypes can contribute to the market price to bounce up and go as much as possible. But to play safe, you're taking money up, down, up, down. So like I say, I'm waiting for another up now so that I can take the money up. You get rejected here, fine. Or if you push it up to this point, that's a 90,000 and get rejected, so no problem. Okay. So many of you who said, okay, if you have made some profit, take some profit. Or then if you want to diversify some of those profits to other projects, you could diversify. And by now, no matter what the portfolio is looking like, because can agree with me that some of you who have portfolio that was 300,000, 200,000 without proper, um, orientation and education, then those portfolio of 300,000 have gone down to $140,000 right now. And so those are the things we always love to explain, that when you come into this space, you must identify specifically what and what do you want. And so you're able to maximize the opportunity therein. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I just have to put us this and expect the market to rally up. And so you want to look for a means of longing the position, but careful. To long the position, then you have to do proper risk management as much as possible so that you don't waste. You can make profit and you'll be looking at it. If no proper risk management, the money go back. All right. So, like I always say, markets cannot be controlled by you, but can be understood by you. All right. So this is this. So those of us trading synthetics, volatility index, and boom and crash and all of that. If you settle down and be patient in what you're doing, then you can actually make a whole lot of money. But take note, I always say, irrespective of what you are trading, when you make some profit, take out some profit into your external wallet so that you don't get tempted to waste the one you have made back. Oh, wow, wow, wow. This is massive. I was just trying to check. Those of us who are trading synthetics, this is why I love to trade. This is why and how I love to uh trade in a long-term spectrum. Those of us who are trading the reef, this market have been in from the beginning. I'm riding back up here again. Riding back for like over 30 something days. Started from January 2025. And of course, we get to this point. We thought we could get down here, but we got to this point. When we're getting up here, we look at this point that will be rejected. And that was a nice rejection. And so there was a pullback yesterday or day before yesterday. Now the continuation is amazing and awesome. Wow. So this is amazingly awesome. And that's what we do. And that's what we leverage on, and always tell people that, okay, uh, you can literally just tell yourself the hard truth to say, okay, I just need the basics. And once the basics are gotten, you can be fine. But sometimes we get carried away by short-term goal and missed out of important region. Yeah, I saw this pullback, and that was amazing entry, and the market continued. So milestone to milestone, finish the first one, second one, third one is done, but not consolidated yet. So we need a close and then consolidate, then get another milestone, get another milestone. Before this milestone are achieved back, then money will have been fully acquired as much as possible. So the same thing on those of us trading on Well Trade. We'll talk about them and how and why you should maximize, not necessarily scalping, right? Not necessarily scalping, but maintaining good swing and position trading can help you and reduce the stress. All right, and boost your interest to maximize outcome. So this is WellTrade. We'll see what has been happening on WellTrade. Many have made a lot of money, but warning is this: you make money, learn how to preserve that money in the best way that you trade in a week, in a day. Okay, this journey completed. This guy completed the journey. That's amazing. So you trade in a day and you make some money. We'll say take it out to your external wallet. And so you want to buy some coins, you buy it as a reserve. Okay, so you turn it to like what the US, what they're doing, right? So taking a reserve. So if taking a reserve, that's going to help a lot of us to maximize opportunity, because trading is hustling. That's the truth. Trading is a hustling because it's a full career. And that's why you see a lot of people talk about I'm trading, and eventually you just find them, saying another thing, how trading is bad, it's not easy. But these are people who probably have been talking so much about trading before. Okay. So basically, for those of you who are new, how do I get involved in all of this opportunity? Number one, we have said about investing. The best investing in crypto is to buy and hold and wait for the market to move. But this is the problem. When can I buy now? The truth of the matter is that if you're coming into this cycle at this time, I've said people come into this market at 2024 were late, let alone now. Does that mean I cannot still make money? Yeah, you can make, but certainly not like buying to hold. Because if you want to buy to hold, you probably want to wait for the total market crash before you can be finding buy to hold. Nevertheless, some meme coin will still be pumping, and people will still be making money, right? Even though the market is crashing. So it all depends on the information you have access to, because the currency of this day is information, and which is a very hard currency. Okay? So a lot of meme coin will still be doing massive pumping, right? And dumping, of course. So, but it can look very risky. So just, I was out. Wow. I was out. So, okay, so while we're still talking of the dump, you still find the token doing some good movement. Okay, so it's actually 1 minute. So this coin, it's even now, let's look at it. Maybe it's going to be like the token we bought the other last or 2 weeks ago, and eventually pump massively. That was Huta. So let's look at the Huta. Right now, it ought to have dumped and become useless. Oh my word. Let's see it. Was it Huta or something? Or has it been delisted already? That's crazily amazing. Huta. Will it be this? No, that cannot be. Oh, that should be. So this made us a lot of money, and eventually got Brad because many wouldn't understand that it's about it's a narrative kind of trading, and so it looks like a money game. And so if you don't know how to play around it, I think this coin is what I traded it down last week or something before the massive dump. Okay, or at this point. Yeah, so but it's not getting beautiful at all. Higher, lower. No, 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 no. No. Okay. So I think this token that got traded last week or something, I think it's sorry, I really do not have enough time to have done a thorough research, but it's looking scary because only Twitter, no other social media. I will have copied the link, probably, but it's fragile. So post the contract address on our group. Where is it? Okay, just on the free group. Just wait for a buy opportunity. So but risky. Yeah. So while we're still talking of coin dumping, so MEMCOIN will continue to still be doing some pumping as much as possible. Flappy. Ooh, how many minutes ago? 47 minutes ago. Wow. Flappy. What are they trying to say? Uh, it's difficult to do research and doing training at the same time. If I check more detail about it, I'll put the contract for us. Okay. So finally, that's just what we have tonight for us to maximize the opportunity in the crypto space. Uh, foreign exchange, that's Forex and synthetics. So like I told us, for Bitcoin, I've gotten to the point. Now, some of you who are smart, I'm not saying we are not smart. If you are smart and you are risk averse, all right, if you're smart and you're risk averse, haven't seen Bitcoin gotten down to where I showed us. That was I think was a range of about 82,500. Then you can ladder buy. So if you're in plan B, you know what ladder buy that is this year. For instance, if I want to long at 82,500, all right, probably can even use 1x or 2x or 3x. And this can be easily done on your CoinW, so you can do a split. So 2x, 3x, and then that's a position. So when it come down again, 82,000, 81,000, you add to 79,000 you add. So eventually, but I can tell you that eventually the market will return back up again to about 85,000 to 87,000 region as well. So if you want to wait for the appropriate time, because I've told you, my channel I drew, continue to do rigmaroling around that point. And so you ask me, hey, Felix, when can I buy? Why not? Can let the buy now, little fraction, low lot size, and then allow it to run. The market come down again, you add to it. If eventually the market is going to crash enough from there, then you manage the loss you're going to encounter rather than overweighting and not taking any step in at all. All right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so far tonight, this is how we've come. So please work your strategy and let's build as much as possible. Thank you very much, everyone. Do have a nice rest.